Hello, everybody, and indeed, Chicago Tony V here, and I just wanted to check in on my weight loss progress. So first of all, I'm currently down about 45 pounds, which is just tremendous. I'm super happy about that, super excited. But today I want to answer the question. You know, this is bantied about a fair bit amongst friends of mine, actually, who are struggling with weight loss. Of course, that includes me. I've struggled most of my life with my weight. The question is processed food really addictive? I'm no expert. I'm just simply going to chime in with my own opinion and leave it at that. So, the short answer to the question for me is yes. I believe that processed food is definitely addictive. Now, does this mean anyone who eats processed food is going to be addicted to it? Of course not. Just like alcohol, some people can drink alcohol and don't seem to get addicted to it. Some people can do drugs, like heavy drugs, and I guess not get addicted to it, at least for a while. That I still wouldn't play with fire in that way. But yes, I do think there is a subset of people who can consume processed food and it doesn't affect them all that much. But there are millions and millions and millions and millions of people who are affected and, in my opinion, in fact, are addicted to processed food. And you can go anywhere, literally in the good old US of A, and just open your eyes and look around, and you can spot several of those people, right? It's not rocket science. They will be very overweight, like I have been most of my life, for sure. I'm going to tell you, though, maybe in a little more depth, why I really firmly believe that it is addictive, okay? And the reason I'm addressing this, by the way, is sometimes people are trying to figure this all out. This is very difficult when you intend to be a healthy, slender person and you fail over and over and over. And when you say today is going to be different, I'm not going to eat Funyuns today, right? And chocolate donuts, I'm not going to do it. And you fail over and over and over and over. You try to make sense. I think you have an inkling, right? If you're a thinking person, it's like, geez, I'm kind of like this is like a crack pipe to me, right? Well, I just want to cut to the chase, right? For people seem to struggle. It's like they don't want to be honest with themselves. They don't want to just face facts. It is addictive, and I'll just share with you, I've spent time over the years as I was trying to figure all this out, and I said, geez, it really does seem addictive, right? I'm acting like a crazy person. I'm acting like an alcoholic, except just with junk food, right? So I attended, for a period of my life, I attended a 12-step program for food addiction. And I'm a big, big fan of such programs. You can find them. And if you're searching, if you're questioning, I would highly recommend it. Now, I will tell you that I ultimately decided, after a long time, you know what, those groups aren't for me. I love them. I've made many, many dear friends, but I've finally kind of come to believe that most people do not recover in those programs. That's just my experience. That's all the meetings I've been to, that sort of thing. But I'll tell you what I observed, right? I saw many bright, hardworking, successful people. I'm talking attorneys, right? Architects, doctors, right? Smart, hardworking people just couldn't put down the Doritos. Couldn't do it. So I think for me that was a big indication that, yeah, this doesn't make sense. These are people who have grit and determination. And these are people who, made a decision. I'm going to change. I'll use myself as an example too. All right. So I'm an entrepreneur, a business owner, and I've had a fair amount of success in my life. But fighting against Dolly Madison, I would lose every time. Okay. So these to me are very strong indications that yes, it's an addiction. This isn't child's play. Now, if you eat zingers, right, are you going to be turning tricks down by the river next week? That's not what I'm saying, right? It's addictive like drugs, but drugs are a much worse thing to be doing with your life than going to McDonald's 3 times a day, right? But you should still not. You still got to put down the processed food. I mean, that's the way it's got to be. So the other indication, to me, very clear that that processed foods are truly addictive is when you pick up the literature for, of course, the most famous piece of literature, I think, for a 12-step program would be they call it the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Which I have read over the years. I actually find it to be a great book. Now it's all written by alcoholics, right? I can tell you as someone addicted to processed food, I can read that book and I relate to it. I'm telling you, I relate to it. Almost every single page. It doesn't matter that they're writing about booze, right? And my personal affliction is, chocolate milk or whatever. It doesn't matter. So those to me are two very strong indications. Yes, it's addictive. I don't know why people waffle. No pun intended. I don't know why people waffle on this. I think it's that they don't want it to be true. But I want to address it now because I've had friends that I've seen waffling for years and years and years. They don't want to face facts, right? They're willing to say things like, "Okay, sugar's addictive," right? Almost every food addict that I know recognizes that. But macaroni and cheese, nope, not willing to go there. You know what I mean? Hamburger buns, nope. So what happened with me in my story, I was in a 12-step group for a long time. And I actually came to the conclusion on my own through my own private study that, yes, my processed foods are like a drug to me. It's as if I'm an alcoholic drinking a scotch and soda, right? Only it's processed food. So I decided what I've got to do is cut out all the processed food. And what do you know? My life turned around. My weight, when I lost probably 75 pounds. This was maybe coming up on a decade ago. I was doing great. And something very interesting happened. I was kind of ostracized, I think. Many fellow members in this 12-step program for compulsive overeating, or whatever you want to call it, lovely, lovely people, but they just didn't like to hear that I was being so strict with my diet. They didn't like to hear that you're eating only whole foods. How dare you? It's like they couldn't handle it, And I just sort of, finally after a year, I just sort of, I felt like I didn't have much support, and I started slipping and sliding, and I fell back into my own ways. And then I spent another, let's say, 9 years consuming processed food, right? There's another indication that it's addictive, right? It's like a relapse, right? It's like I went back into the bottle and then not to re-emerge for like a decade. I mean, it's really stunning. So as I sit now, thank goodness, on my own, with my own research, putting together my own plan, certainly with the help of many, many smart people I've read great books, by some of the leading doctors, et cetera, et cetera. I put together my own plan, and I kind of rediscovered what I already knew, which is if I want to reach a healthy body weight and get my life back and my energy back and my vitality back, I need to put down processed food, right? I need to eat the food that nature intended for me to eat. So very happy to be able to say, okay, I'm about 8 months in now. What did I say? I've lost about 45 pounds. I'm feeling great. I'm in a groove. Now I know enough to know that I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to take it for granted. I never want to say, oh, I got this, much like these, addicts approach other things. But for me, once I just faced facts and said, yes, obviously for me, processed foods are like a drug, right? It just allowed me to get to the truth and it allowed me to move on finally. So things are going well. I hope they go well for you. Feel free to reach out through whatever this is, YouTube. I don't know, I'd love your comments. If anyone needs any advice, I'm no expert. Obviously, I'm just another bozo on the bus, but I've had a little bit of success here lately. So hooray for me. If you're dealing with the same struggle, you're not alone. Like I said earlier, just look around anywhere. Go anywhere in America and just open your eyes. Everyone's struggling with their weight. Almost everyone. Okay. Vast majority. So you're not alone. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It doesn't mean you're lazy, all that stuff. It just means that you're facing a unique environmental problem. That's what the modern food supply is. And you've got to come up with a plan for, okay, what do I do about it? That's kind of why I put together this YouTube channel. I want to just kind of share what's been working for me, and maybe it will resonate with someone else, and it will help you in your journey. Okay? All right. That's all I have for today. All right. I love you and I like you. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Okay. Bye-bye.